Hi everybody, this is Neil Allen, the comic creator behind the series Zatswan, Multiversal Guardian, and it looks like the YouTuber Shawn James is talking about me again. Fortunately, this video he's making is not an hour and a half long, so I should be able to get through it. I will play some of it and tell you what I think again. I don't know what's going to be said, so I'm going to be responding pretty fresh. I know people don't like hearing him, like me playing clips that are too long of him just because he's like annoying, but just bear with me here. This one's not going to be nearly as long. He did say that he wasn't going to make any other videos about me or go back and forth, but it seems he gave up on that pretty quickly, so let's see what he has to say.
Paperback and e-readers, Spellbound, a darker shade of life. Get your copy today at your favorite online bookseller. Now available in paperback and e-readers.
Let me see if I can get past.
But as a barbecue, stalkers is added again. Looks like one of these beta male stalkers is added again. Recently, Neil Allen, a guy who's been stalking my channel, decided to make yet another.
Actually, I really haven't been. I haven't watched a Shawn James video in a while. People mostly tell me about like whatever it is he's doing.
Other video about me accusing me of allegedly participating in hate. Now, this video basically was one that Neil Allen decided to make after he decided to stalk the comment section of one of my videos and found a comment that I made where I talked about how I basically took him to the barbecue a few weeks ago as related to several videos that he made about me. Now, Neil Allen has decided to yet again make another video talking about me, digging deep into the archives of my old videos, which really shows how sad and pathetic dude is.
Not really. It just means I have a memory. I don't know exactly what video he's talking about, but is that actually bad? Do you want people to forget about your videos?
Because if he's so content in the interracial relationship that he's in, why is he continuing to make videos about me?
Because people want to see them, actually. Like when people get tired of seeing them, or when I get tired of making them, whichever comes first, then there won't be any more videos about you.
Critical question I would like to ask Neil Allen regarding his extremely dysfunctional behavior, because the kind of behavior he's participating in is the kind of behavior the late David Carroll talked about regarding beta male stalkers, in that you continue to stalk a channel of a man whose opinions you don't agree with.
You're doing that very same thing to me. Do you understand that? Like, okay, so here's the hypocrisy of Shawn James. He talks about making videos about other men, like he said that in the previous video he made about me, yet he's making an hour-and-a-half long video about me then. Here he is a couple weeks later making another video about me now.
And continue to stalk the channel of a man whose content that you don't like.
Look in the mirror, Shawn.
And that's something that's really sad for Neil Allen to participate in, because he says he wants to be this comic artist who's out here with his white girlfriend. And if you think that you're...
Here he is bringing up the... He feels he has to make it like... he has to point that out. The white girlfriend.
About that interracial relationship, and you're content in that interracial relationship, you would think you would be staying in your own lane and focusing on and looking to improve in your craft and looking to work towards your goals of getting your work noticed by other people.
The work's getting noticed by other people, actually, as I make more videos. The videos are doing good. You see, Shawn, like if what you're saying might make some sense if people weren't interested in the videos. I did a cursory glance at his channel, because last time he made a video about me, he tried to flex on me, acting like, oh, this is such a small channel compared to me. I mean, I took a look at his channel, and this guy's been at it for like what did he say before, 10 years or something like that. His videos aren't doing any better than mine are, actually, in many cases worse. So this is actually proving pretty effective at getting more eyeballs on the comic.
Unfortunately, Neil Allen basically was looking like one of these beta males, and as one of these beta males, once he sees a man expressing an opinion he doesn't like, what he wants to do is go out here and hope to try to go out here and ostracize that person, try to ostracize that person.
Not really. It's just that, when you put out this stuff, people have, they're well within their rights to respond to it. That's something that you have to deal with, Shawn. When you put out an opinion, people can talk about and disagree with that opinion if they choose. Nothing beta about that.
By calling them out and hopes to, by ostracizing this person.
He's literally doing the same thing to me, by the way. So you're kind of in a no-win situation here, Shawn. Because, with what you're doing here, you're literally engaging in the same behavior you're accusing me in. The difference with me, though, is I'm not here saying that, oh, if you make videos about another person, you're a beta male. Well, let me explain something about this whole masculinity thing. I know that Shawn James really didn't grow up with a father in his life. Yes, he has one, but I understand he was raised by his mother. His father moved away to another state. And I don't know how, or I don't know, maybe Shawn James's mom moved to another state. I don't know how that worked out. I don't know how often that, Shawn James had contact with his dad. I'm kind of guessing not much. Let me explain something about this to you, just to get my background out there. And no, I'm not using this as a flex or anything like that, but just to explain it. I came from a nuclear family, a mother, a father, sister, and brothers. Plenty of actual, I really do not think about this much, and this is the point. Plenty of male senior influences going on. Okay, so people who are actually secure in their masculinity, they honestly do not go around thinking about it all the time, just like people who are pretty secure, they're secure in, say, their penis size. They don't go around thinking about it all the time. It's the people who are actually really insecure about that are looking at it through this lens of everything, through this lens of beta males and alpha males and stuff like that, and I think it's interesting that this guy Shawn James is constantly talking about this stuff. People who are secure, they're really not thinking about that constantly.
What they can do is enter into a covert contract with the rest of black and white and non-black fandom to be able to elevate his social status on social media. Now, what Neil Allen is doing is, again, participating in this covert contract with all of fandom and hoping what he can do by calling me out is by going out here, he hopes to, one, raise his exposure because his channel...
True.
Basically is not getting many clicks and views.
It's getting about as much as yours, Shawn. I took a look at your channel. You're getting you've been at this for 10 years. You're getting 300, 400, 500 views on your videos. You're lucky to be getting over 1K. You really don't have any... Once again, Shawn James really has no business talking about, stuff like that when he's pretty much in the same boat. His channel's not getting many clicks and views either. But I will concede that point. The reason I make videos, there are a couple. One, because I feel like doing it. If I feel like I have something to say or something to share, like now, for example, then fortunately I have a platform to where I have a voice and I use that platform. So it's an outlet for me. It's something I enjoy doing, and hopefully it's beneficial to others. Two, yes, it is to raise my exposure, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And if Shawn James is honest with himself, that's clearly Same reason why he's making videos as well.
So what he hopes to do is hope to start a YouTube beef with me, where he hopes to get me to go into a back and forth with him.
Well, if that's actually my goal, then it seems like I'm succeeding at it pretty well. About the back and forth with Shawn James, I said this in another previous video, I think the one where he initially called me out. With the back and forth videos from him, I could take them or leave them. He could either make them or not. If I have something I feel like saying about Shawn James, I can say it without, without him saying something about me. So I'm going to put that on record again. I could either take the videos or leave them. I don't really need a back and forth.
And hopes that by getting that back and forth going, what he can do is get his channel to rise in the algorithm, and hopes that by trying to get his channel to...
I can see what's going on here. Shawn James is actually seeing that my channel is rising in the algorithm, and of course he fears that. He does not like that, because when my channel's getting as much or more views than his, then well, and I'm putting out messages that about him that he doesn't like, then of course he's not going to like that. So I can see what Shawn is concerned about there. It's interesting that in his conspiracy viewpoint, he's playing right into my hand. But well, let's go on and see what happens.
Rise in the algorithm, he hopes to go out and hope to elevate his status on social media, because by going out here and arguing with a more popular channel, he hopes that people will go out and hope to watch the back and forth between us, and hopes that this will get more attention on him. That's what the first thing that he hopes to get out of this entire deal. He hopes to try to get his social status elevated.
Well, I am extremely mercenary. I have no point, or I have no qualm being open about that. If this wasn't something that I felt would benefit me some kind of way, or if it wasn't something I just didn't feel like doing, I can assure you I just wouldn't do it.
And as he hopes to get his social status elevated and presenting himself as the so-called tolerant and diverse individual, he hopes that this will get him some brownie points with those who are a part of black fandom and white and non-black fandom.
See, the thing is, Shawn, I'm not you. I'm honestly not looking at things through that. I'm not really considering that racial lens, honestly. I'm not saying that, the racial lens is never ever a thing. Like, I don't see race. I'm not saying that that's like a thing, but I'm not seeing it like that. I didn't consider like, oh, I hope black and white and non-white fans really love this. I just had some things to say, got them out there. Whoever likes a response to it, that's cool, whatever their background.
And make him look like the more tolerant individual.
Well, I actually am the more tolerant individual. I don't have to, try to look like the more tolerant individual. Nothing I'm saying here is anything that I'll be ashamed of later on. I've never said anything that was intolerant. I've never said anything that was offensive to a whole group of people, other than maybe Shawn James fans and like intolerant pro-blacks or something like that. Again, I've never said anything about their background, more so their behavior. So I know, because I don't really hold those views, and I wouldn't put that type of message out there, unlike, say, a Shawn James.
As related to this whole situation. And as he does this, he hopes to go out here and again get the subs, clicks, and views, and hope to elevate his clout. Hopes to elevate his clout by trying to make the person talking about black empowerment, such as myself, into the bad guy, and make himself into the hero of the situation, hoping that this will lead to him getting doors open for him as related to not only elevating his social status and getting more exposure for his comic, but also hoping that this will possibly open a door for him as related to working with many of these people in comic fandom, as related to getting editors to pay attention to his work.
I never considered that, so that's just something he's putting out there that I'm going to refute. Sure, exposure's good. Really, I just hope people see the videos and people enjoy the videos and people get something good and beneficial out of the videos. Never really considered editors from Marvel and DC. I'm not sure. Let's continue.
And hopefully looking to go out here and be able to get himself a job. And this is no different than what many black bootlicks go out here and do. What many black bootlicks go out here and do is they look to try to elevate their social status as related to tearing down another black person, hoping that this will gain them favor with whites and non-blacks, and hope that this will be able to open a door for them to be able to get that job. And it's no different than what people like Joy Reid and many others like Roland Martin and Stephen A. Smith do in the circles of entertainment.
Well, basically what it is, Sean, if you're going to put out these like really wild viewpoints and strong opinions, and again, when they're going to come from a person like you who doesn't, people can say a lot of stuff about you, and you don't want to take any sort of accountability for yourself, then, people are free to express their thoughts about that. They're free to challenge your wild opinions. And yes, they're free to tear you down when you're tearing down other people. When you make a YouTube channel, you say it's about empowerment, but basically, apparently it's some sort of empowerment through trying to tear down others. Who would those others be? They would be, you like to go after oftentimes mixed women who did something you didn't like. You like to go after white people, definitely nonstop. And yeah, you do like to attack the interracial relationship, regardless of your what was it, the mixed race goth character that you try to use as a shield, which is just another one of your puppets that can behave the way you want them to behave. But, if you're going to go around tearing down other people, again, there are going to be consequences to that. People are going to rise up, challenge your opinions, and so on and so forth. And there's nothing wrong with that.
But that's what's being done here. And what this guy wants to do is try to discredit me as being some sort of person who is hate mongering, when in actuality, when I'm talking about black empowerment, I'm talking about black love, and I'm talking about black people loving themselves to take power over themselves. That's all I do as related to promoting the books of the...
And in doing that, he's essentially attacking and tearing down like nearly everybody else, by the way.
SJS Direct Imprint, promoting positive...
The message of Shawn James is not a message of love. Believe me, it's a message of division. It's a message of, yes, there is some hate stuff going on in there. I mean, I think he's so used to doing it, or he feels that, I think, of course, again, not all black people are like this, but these sorts of black people like a Shawn James seem to be. I guess they perceive themselves as being at the bottom of the totem pole, so that gives them free pass to just go saying whatever they want about whoever they want, and somehow they're in the right. Or it's okay for them to do that. That's really not the truth. The thing about it, Sean, is if you talk about wanting to be treated with respect so badly, you talk that black people aren't respected. If you want that type of respect for people, then one of the first steps to getting that type of respect for people is also giving that type of respect to people.
Positive stories about the black experience, promoting positive stories about black life, and showing you a richer picture of black people. And this guy wants to go out here and make it...
No, you don't, Sean. You show people a picture just your picture of black people when some people want to do their own, such as what the creators of the comic Luna did, aspects of black life, showing black people doing things. You don't approve of it. That comic book Luna from Concrete Comics had a black woman involved in a romantic scenario with a white character. That's what kicked this whole thing off. Just that happening sent Shawn James into a frenzy, accused the book of being anti-black, accused Concrete Comics of being anti-black, and yeah, I had something to say about that. That is an aspect of black life that Shawn James doesn't want to show you. Black people get in interracial relationships. So no, he's not about presenting this rich view of black people. He's just into presenting his own view of black people that suits only him.
It looked like I'm some sort of guy who hates people, when in actuality, if dude had read my novels in the Spinsterella trilogy, he would see that the material...
Lord, no, I am not reading that novel. And whatever he's saying about Spinsterella, I really don't think that it's really going to stand.
The character comes from an interracial relationship.
Don't mean nothing. But okay, let me explain this again. This is just, Shawn James has I will say a preference for mixed race women. That's one of his mixed race puppets that he can, quasi pseudo get sexual access to through writing his novel and positioning himself, or a knockoff of himself, as the love interest. We also saw this with his John Haynes character and another female character he created that was modeled after a mixed race actress and voice actress named Sally Richardson. That's just Shawn getting, doing the best, coming the closest that he will ever come, quite possibly, the closest he's come to yet, to getting romantically involved with one of these mixed women that he, literally deifies, actually. I mean, when I say that, it's because he creates these, goddess-type characters.
And again, I have nothing against interracial relationships, but I do have an issue with opportunistic black bootlegs who really are out here looking to...
Okay, well, then what was the problem with Luna, Shawn? You said you have no problem with interracial relationships based on merit. I didn't talk about that. He didn't mention that in the Luna video. He said that in the other video about taking me to the barbecue. Here's something that I would like to ask. When you see a black relationship in fiction or media, does it have to be a black relationship on merit, or do you just accept that it's a relationship? Same thing even if you see a white relationship. Do you just accept those are relationships? Do they have to prove, their merit, their worth to you? I think it's interesting that the interracial relationship definitely does. You don't just accept that that's a relationship. Somehow it has to jump through some extra hoops some kind of way. Or so you say. You say you have no problem with it, but your actions kind of prove otherwise. So honestly, I don't think I'm just going to completely take you at your word for that, just because based on your actions.
To, again, look to clout chase and gain the favor at another person's expense without ever thinking critically about what that person is saying. And that's what's happening here with this dude. Basically,
I've thought quite critically about what Shawn James has said. I've addressed Shawn James's points. If I have not, then people in the comments can let me know if there's a particular point from Shawn James that they would like me to address. Okay, am I doing all of this at Shawn James's expense? Maybe that's how the end result is coming about, but basically I'm interested in discourse. I had an opinion about something Shawn James said. I put that opinion out there. That's basically what happened. If other people want to see that opinion, or if this is the type of stuff they want to see, then I can address other things about Shawn James's opinions too, because I do have thoughts about the stuff that he's saying. Does he just want me to be completely silent about it? I mean, the thing about it is, like, you have a comment section, but I imagine if I went in there saying the things in the comments, that I'm saying here, Shawn James would probably just delete them or something like that. So, I mean, do you have a problem with people like responding to your videos or your work? Do you have a problem defending your views that are coming under question? I really don't have a problem defending any of mine.
This dude is no different than any other person who was a part of those black bootlick circles, whether it be in fandom, whether it be the passport bros, whether it be the swirlers or the hashtag divestors. All of these individuals basically are looking to climb an imaginary social ladder and will look to tear down another black person in order to climb that social ladder. And this dude is no different, and he wants to keep the beef going because he basically...
Well, why are you responding to... I mean, okay, yeah, I'll just be completely open with it. Why are you responding to any of this then, really?
Wants to, again, get that clout for himself, and he wants to build that base, but the way he's building that base is basically going to crumble under him because it takes two people to participate.
Oh my God, and here, literally, here he is participating again. This isn't the first time he's done this. It's now going on like the third.
In a beef, and as a grown 50-year-old man, I don't beef with people.
The hypocrisy of Shawn James. So I said in previous videos that I had problems with Shawn James involving hypocrisy and cognitive dissonance. So here's an example of his hypocrisy. I don't beef with people. Oh, yeah. Anyway, moving on. I don't even think I have to explain this one.
Especially a child who doesn't understand the whole image of black men and black manhood in the social circles of social media. Now, as someone who understands these social circles of social media, I understand how optically bad it looks for a black man to be tearing another black man down. And again, I had hoped that this had been something that this dude would have learned when I cooked and roasted him in a live stream, basically showing...
It seems to be something Shawn James didn't learn, because here he is back again doing this.
How immature he is, and in that live stream trying to teach him something about manhood, but this dude...
I think somebody needs to teach Shawn James something about manhood. Again, like I said, people who are pretty secure in their manhood, they're not going around thinking about that all the time.
Again, seems like nothing registers because when it comes to these kind of bootlicks, what they want to do is get that attention from those whites and non-blacks, and wants to think that this is going to...
So basically he's upset because the videos have been getting more attention. So I think that's the big takeaway from this. The videos are getting attention, and so they're getting more popular, and that's causing negative attention to come on to him. You know what? I definitely had a big hand in that, but if people didn't want to see the content, then they wouldn't watch the content. I didn't force any of them to do that. I just put my opinions out there on something that I saw. If, that reflects poorly on him, then that's his problem.
To again curry them favor, thinking that he's going to curry favor with these people, but these people again don't really see anybody black as having value. No, they just see you as a pawn they can use in their white supremacist chess game.
Okay, so here comes some more racist jargon from Shawn James. Nobody black has value to these other people. That's not true. Shawn James does not know white people. He does not know other people. I don't think that he knows much about anything that goes on beyond his bedroom. Uh, so, you know, he positions himself as some kind of life guru or something with all this experience, but he really doesn't have much. I think he's been fired from the 3 jobs that I think he's had. Anytime he tries to, because he goes around acting the way that he does, anytime he tries to get ahead, he ends up slipping on a banana peel, and basically his own banana peel, and, you know, screwing himself some kind of way. So, I mean, this guy doesn't really have the experience he says he has. He doesn't have the life experience. He doesn't have the experience navigating other people. He talks about these relationships and stuff like that, like he's some kind of relationship or dating or women type of guru. He's not. He's never been in a relationship. He's an incel. I'm not saying these things really to tear him down per se, even though even if that's the result, that's not really the main motivation. The motivation is getting out here who is saying this type of stuff. You know, who is the person saying this, and should you listen to a person like that? Listening to a person like Shawn James about, say, relationships and so on, that would be like going to the bum outside of the liquor store or something like that and consulting that bum about how to best manage an investment portfolio. Why would you listen to a person like that? That's what listening to Shawn James about this stuff is. I bring those things, those factors about Shawn James out to give you a picture of who it is you may be listening to if you're following this type of message. No experience really with white people, no real experience with manhood, didn't really have a father in his life. That's why he's so insecure about all of this stuff. No real experience with women. Why are you no experience dating? And the thing is, like, I think that's okay, believe it or not. I think Shawn James being an incel, that's fine. Whatever. I'm not shooting him down for that in particular. What I would like to do, because that's his business and that doesn't like affect me one way or another. But what I would like to do is, if he's putting out this so-called expert life advice, I would like to point out, I think it's beneficial to point out to others where that advice is coming from. It's coming from a person with no practical experience in that arena. And the thing about it is, he's saying all these kinds of far out toxic views on things. You know, from a very cynical, you can even say hateful slant. I think it's worth pointing out where those views are coming from and taking that into consideration when you hear those views.
And once they finish using you as a pawn, they basically discard you off the board. That's what dude doesn't understand, because he's out here thinking he's living the dream as being a part of the great white American melting pot. Thinking,
did they discard Michael Jordan? Did they discard, I mean, plenty of, did they discard Neil deGrasse Tyson? Did they discard, did they discard Michael B. Jordan? Did they discard, you know, the list goes on and on and on. You know, you can't even kind of say Michael Jackson. Maybe you can argue that they kind of did, but, you know, you could also argue he did a lot of that discarding of himself to himself with poor decisions. But no, I'm not going to put out this image that other people see black people with no value. I'm just not going to put that out because it's not true. That's just, if Shawn James's life didn't go the way Shawn James didn't want it to, a lot of that rests with Shawn James. It wasn't white supremacy that had no place for him. Maybe other people just had no place for Shawn James or the messages that Shawn James is putting out.
that, oh, I've got my white girlfriend, I'm doing my comic, Well, again, if that's what you want to do, you go out here and do you. The same way I tell these passport bros now, go ahead and do you. And the swirl.
Well, you know what? That's what you should have told people right up front at the beginning. That's actually good to hear. Instead of trying to dogmatically dictate to them what they should be doing. It seems that, believe it or not, it seems Shawn James may have had an epiphany. Go ahead and do you. That's actually what you should have come out with at the beginning. And I'm a bit proud of Shawn James for maybe coming to that realization.
And the divestors, go ahead and do you. You go ahead and do whatever you want. I'm not down with any of that. Again, that's your life. And again, what this dude really wants to do is do two things as related to me. One, he wants to, again, go out here and build his name on my name, which is really pathetic because what you're going to do is piggyback on another man instead of going out here and putting the work in. Because with this dude, what he wants to do is piggyback off me because he sees that I've got more subs and views. But what he doesn't see is that I put in years of work.
I'm not going to be using you as a model. You put in 10 years of work to get on the regular 400 or something, 500 if you're lucky, views on a video on average. No, I'm not using you as a model.
Making videos. I mean, I've been doing this since about 2013, and before then, I was working on my blog, Shawn James, Black Freelance Writer. I mean, it took years for me to build my reputation and my brand, and it takes years to go out here and build. But what this guy wants to do is make a fast track for himself, and of getting YouTube fame. Well, brother, I hate to break it to you, but this ain't the way you do things because, again, you ain't going to get no YouTube fame by going out here and piggybacking on another man in a YouTube.
So, yes, the big concern, what he's upset about is actually the channel has been growing, the views have been going up.
Beef. No, you gotta put the work in and make the content and curate the content on your channel. And from what I've seen...
And do not come in here telling me what I need to do about that because you're really not doing that great on YouTube.
The dude has put on his channel, there really ain't much up there about his comic, not much about his art, but when I go out here, I got everything on my blogs and my videos about my books and my content. Again, I'm putting my work out there for people to see. I'm putting my work out there for people to see because I want people to see my products. And again, I wanted them to get to know me. I wanted people to, that's the only reason why
Okay, so we're going down the Shawn James memory lane thing. Okay, at this type of stuff I really don't want to hear about too much. And I know the video's kind of getting on in length, so I'm tempted to start skipping. But I will do some editing if there's like really not much of worth in here.
Shows us in a better light because I'm not looking to do like Neil here, who wants to go say that the black man has to be out here with Asian and white women.
Where did he get that from? Where have I ever said that? Those words have never, ever, I can assure you, come out of my mouth. Or have I taken that to a keyboard? I have never said that the black man has to be with Asian or white women. The black man can be with who the black man wants to be with.
No, I go out here and write...
The dude's literally putting words in my mouth. It's so bizarre.
...stories where the black man is at the side of black women.
Okay, well, that's your prerogative, Shawn. It's like, I don't have a problem with that. Why do you keep making it about that? Okay, we get it. You want to write stories where black men are with black women. Great, knock yourself out. Like, that's not, I don't have an issue with that. Why are you trying to, like, frame it as though I do? That's so weird to me. It's just, these are literal lies.
And again, showing black on black love. And again, love people enough and love this enemy enough to try to tell him the truth that his approach to things is a sad and pathetic approach. A sad and pathetic approach because, again, piggybacking on another man just is coming from a position of weakness. Focusing on another man is really making you look.
look in the mirror what he does with people like Eric July and Concrete Comics, where he's looking to, tear down these other black people to essentially empower himself. So really, to close things up here, what I would say about Shawn James, the best thing that he can do, I think, is to probably get himself some kind of therapy. I know that that sounds like it's a jab, but it's really not meant to be. I don't know what things are exactly like in New York, but if he has some sort of like government issued health insurance, it very well may be covered under that. But Shawn has a lot of anger issues, for one thing. He's very angry, very bitter. It seems he has issues involving masculinity and women. Now, the only reason that I know these things is because Shawn James basically puts it out on display on his channel publicly for people to see. I know that he was like maybe viciously, I don't know, that's his recounting of it, but basically turned down by black women, and like maybe all the way back in like the late 80s, 87, 89. And that seems to be something that he's never really gotten over. I remember him making a video where he said something like, oh, you could just say that you have a boyfriend or you're not interested, but you don't have to savagely tear a person apart and rip them to shreds and all this and that. That seems to be a trauma that Shawn really hasn't gotten over. And he's like, it's that trauma that's not worked through is manifesting as this really cynical, really toxic content that he's like putting out on YouTube. And again, he can do that. He can do that. I'm not saying that, oh no, he can't do that and he has to be taken down. He can do that, but you can also be challenged about doing that as well. And again, the issue with Shawn James is he's not willing to step up when he's challenged and defend what he's doing, probably because it's difficult. The things he's being challenged about are kind of difficult to defend, but he's doing all of that himself. And again, issues with not wanting to take accountability for anything. He wants to go around acting like the supreme victim all the time, and he's telling people, black people specifically, like that's how you need to go around acting. And he's not taking any accountability for his actions. He's not taking accountability for all the wild, crazy, toxic, yes, and even hateful things that he said. He's not doing that. He's acting again like he's a victim of some kind of injustice going on. Like it's okay for him to put out all this insane, crazy, and hateful content, but somehow it's bad for others to challenge that content. He doesn't want to take accountability for that. So issues with taking accountability, issues with, masculinity and being secure in his masculinity, issues with being very, very angry at women. I just think that he would need to do a lot of self-reflection. I don't know that he has the capacity himself to do that. So the best thing that he could probably do, oh, and also a lot of anger towards white people as well. I don't know that he has the capacity to do that on his own, so he would probably, it would behoove him to get some help with that, actually. And I know it sounds like I'm taking a jab at him, but I'm really not. I really do think it's in his best interest to try to work through a lot of his anger issues and bitterness issues and things like that. Because, let's use Shawn as an example. Do you really want to go around carrying stuff like this around for 50 years and you see where it gets you? Just an angry, bitter person with this negative viewpoint on everything, and you're feeling like, so you see, when you don't take accountability for anything the way Shawn does, it's kind of like you're not really in control of your outcome or your life. You're kind of surrendering that to other people, like say white supremacy. And no, I really don't think that's true. I think, you know, people can kind of forge their own destinies. And you could even kind of tell by the defeated way Shawn is coming across in this video, like, oh, I guess I'm just going to turn it in. I mean, that's kind of the viewpoint he has, like, when he gets challenged. And lets other people, like even me, kind of shape his destiny. Which, again, I'm not trying to do. I'm more like, well, hey, if you're going to say this stuff that, you know, I really don't think is true, then, you know, I'm going to, you know, challenge that. There's nothing wrong with that. That's called discourse. But anyway, yeah, it's probably in his best interest to get some kind of help with all of these issues that he has. Obviously, he has a lot. It doesn't take a shrink or a therapist to be able to tell that. Like, the way he acts is dysfunctional. The views he has are dysfunctional and toxic. But anyway, that's it for now. And feel free to check out my own comic at Zatswan.com. Like and share the video. And I will talk to all of you again very soon. Take care.